this interactive session with Team Teoler. I'm Devaleena, I'm a member of Team Teoler, and I'm also a parent. Today, the reason why we're here is that over the last couple of years, we've been facing a lot of queries and a lot of issues, a lot of questions from parents regarding what exactly do we do here at Teoler. So today, I'm here, hopefully, to reach out to all of you and to address some of the critical issues. Now, in order to do so, I have with me Mr. Amit Kapoor. He's one of the directors of the Teoler Group of Institutions, and he is going to help us in understanding what Teoler is truly all about. Good morning, Amit sir.
Hello, Devaleena ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm very good,
So
sir.
good to see you after, now that the break has started.
Yes, and we're still here.
Yes. Yeah. Team Teoler still works, right?
We
There's no
still-
break for us.
No break for us.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that you are here with us today, and welcome.
Likewise.
So we have questions for you. I mean, I personally do not have that many questions because I'm a part of this team and I know how the team works. But I do have friends and I have acquaintances who've been asking questions daily over and over again. And I said, you know what? I think the best way to tackle this is to approach you.
Perfect.
Yeah. So shall I go ahead?
Absolutely.
And
Let's start.
Okay, great. So one of the most important questions that we have been facing is people are not sure about what Teoler stands for. I mean, what exactly are we doing here? What's our focus? What's our agenda? What plans we have for the future? I hope you can answer.
Right. So first of all, I really appreciate you doing this because it really helps me communicate with my parents and also students. Over the last 2 years, we have seen that gap where we haven't really been able to speak with them.
True.
So this is the time. This is a good way to reach out to these
In
parents.
fact, COVID has actually made it very difficult
It
for
has.
everyone.
It was just very, very tough.
Yes.
It was tough for the children, for everyone else.
Yes.
So, ma'am, any institution, right, which is responsible for children, or which is a school, quote unquote, right, basically works on 4 key areas. Right. The first area is what we call curriculum. Curricular is what an external agency or an organization prescribes, right? So CBSE is an external body prescribing curriculum for all CBSE schools, ICSE for ICSE schools,
Right.
GCSE, Cambridge for IGCSE schools, so on and so forth.
Right.
This is very clearly defined and you know what to follow. There is one more step to it, which is not just the board, which is the competitive examinations. Right, so JEE prescribes a syllabus for JEE entrance, NEET, NTA prescribes a syllabus for NEET entrance, there is a prescribed syllabus for CLAT, prescribed syllabus for IB Math, so on and so forth, right? All this is what we call curriculum.
Okay.
This is the first bucket. The second bucket is what we call co-curricular. Co-curricular is what a child would need, to be successful or as a skill set when the child goes out in the professional world.
Okay.
Although there is no prescribed syllabus for it. Right, so we use Microsoft Office all the time, right? So we use a PowerPoint presentation, we use an Excel, so on and so forth, right?
You can't.
And I know you are really good at PowerPoint, right? So you've been helping your teachers make those presentations over the last 2 years.
It's very, very important. I mean, it's a major life skill.
Absolutely. And then there is language, right? Just the proficiency and the ability to communicate, both in the written form as well as in the verbal form. And then another important area which has come up in the last 15-20 years is just ability to work in groups.
Yes.
Do projects together, group discussions, ability to communicate your ideas effectively, how to adapt to group dynamics.
Very important.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is what we call co-curricular, which is critical part of curricular, but no syllabus has been prescribed for it.
Okay.
Third is what we call extracurricular, which is beyond curricular or co-curricular.
Okay.
Basically 3 buckets. You have sports. Sports, indoor, outdoor, all sports are included in this. Then you have fine arts. Fine arts would be painting, sculpture,
Right.
so on and so forth.
Right.
Performing arts would be dance, drama,
Music.
right? That's the third bucket. And the fourth bucket is, which is very, very critical, discipline and value system. Behavior and value system.
Absolutely.
You teach a child not just corrects. You teach a child not just these extra corrects or co-corrects. You teach a child how to go out in the world. You teach a child how, after grade 12, how to survive, how to be the better person, how to be a more responsible person, how to be a more sincere person, And that is behavior and value system, right? call it, if you may, survival kit, the real survival kit in the world,
I
right?
agree.
Now, let's understand what is Teoler doing on all these four fronts,
Yes.
right? When we started, right, and even today, our core DNA is curriculum. And that stems from the fact that, look, me and Nirjay come from really humble backgrounds, right? We come from, I come from a lower middle family. My father was a clerk, and we had nothing to bank upon but our own education. And both of us did well. Nirjay went to IIT Delhi, I'm Ahmedabad, I went to Bangalore, learned business school, and we did well. And we have in our network so many people who come from lower middle class families, middle class family, and they're doing amazingly well, within India, outside India, primarily because they were good in curriculums. So that has always been our core, where we want our child to go to a good college, right? That is the first step in building a good professional career. Going to a good college, fortunately or unfortunately, I will not judge it, but going to a good college in India, to a large extent, depends primarily on currics and not necessarily on anything else.
Yes.
Now we can be, all philosophical and say, what, everything else matters much more. But let's be honest, you want your child to go to a good college, and it could be any good college. It could be law, it could be engineering, it could be medical, it could be computer applications, it could be business management, it could be simple, pure sciences at ISC. The thing, your passport to a good college in India is curriculums.
Yes.
And it's not very different in US or Europe either. Right? So you want to go to a good college in London, you want to go to a good college in US, you need to have good scores. And you need to have a good SAT score as well.
Very true.
Right? So that's one. We have a lot of focus. We typically move about 6 to 9 months ahead of average CBSE curriculum. Plus we have competitive examinations, competitive coaching beginning, from, which grade you are. So we have NTSE starting from 7, we have IP MAT, we have JE, we have NEET. Now we are the first school to start CUED coaching. We started like 4 months back, right? So focus on curricular continues, right? But is that what Teoler is? No, absolutely not. There is much more to Teoler than this. Is it our main plan? Absolutely. But let's move beyond it, right? Co-curriculars, most of the parents have realized that over the last 2 years, our kids have lost the ability to speak in English as much or write in English as much, right? We have started focusing on it a lot. Grade 1 to grade 8, English periods, only English, have been increased by at least 30% across grades.
Okay.
Just to make sure that we focus a lot more on spoken as well as written English.
I think that's fabulous.
Right? So presentations have become part of it, creative writing has become a part of it, right? A lot of RCs are also being done just for comprehension part of it. And, both on computer, again on computer front, we are doing a lot of work on Microsoft Office, we are doing a lot of work on programming also. This year you'll see programming, we are starting programming from grade 4 to grade 8, right?
Wow, that's
specific
great.
programming classes. Now let's move to extracurriculars. We have gotten a lot of feedback about extracurriculars, but I give the example, and I've always said that, all of us have heard of Toyota, right? And Toyota and Volvo are known for their sturdiness, their functionality, their strength. But does it mean that they make cars which have 1920 designs?
No, not at all.
Right? Toyota has really, really good designs.
Yes.
Toyota Fortuner is probably a car which is the longest waiting period in this country, right? So yes, we are known for academics, but that doesn't mean we do not focus on extracurriculars. Just to give you an example, over the last 1.5 months, I'm sure you are from English team, you would know, right? We have conducted recitations, we have conducted show and tell, we have conducted singing competitions, we have conducted extempore, right?
We have done a whole lot.
We have done a whole lot of activities in like 6 weeks of time.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And the quintessential few activities that that's absolutely not right. Today, as we speak, we have one of the best football grounds in the city. We have one of the best cricket grounds in the city. We have 3 cricket pitches. We have 2 tennis courts.
Right.
We have like everything that you can imagine at TU, right? We have skating, basketball, cricket, football, everything. Futsal is there, right? We are building one more basketball court now, right?
Great.
So, a lot of facilities are there. We have a team of 30 coaches and activity teachers, right, between TU and THS.
That is a huge.
So, for
number.
2,500 students, we have 30 teachers focusing only on activities. Right? I think that's a good investment and that's a good opportunity. Right? And most important thing, now let's come to behavior and value system. See, as I said, both me and Richard come from, really humble backgrounds.
Right.
And we realize that it's very, very critical that we give the child the right value system. It is not important whether you come in a Mercedes Benz, whether you're wearing an expensive watch, whether you're wearing an expensive t-shirt, a branded shoe. What is important is, can you sit down and work hard? Can you put your head down and struggle for your goals, right? You know, even if you are an Ambani, you know, running the biggest company in the country, you know, even then you need to work very hard, and you need to work hard very sincerely, right? So it is the core value system that we want to provide to our children. The ability to work hard, the ability to be helpful to others, you know, to be disciplined, right? To focus, right? And another thing which we are very, very particular about is taking away the sense of entitlement that all these young kids are getting these days. You know, there is a sense of entitlement. Ye to hona hi hai. You know, it's got to happen. So I will have an AC, I will have a car, I will go to a great restaurant, right? And these things will just happen automatically. You know, we need to teach our children that life beyond grade 12, you know, when you actually go out in the real world, it's not as easy. And if we believe that this transformation can happen in a day, then, you know, we are kidding ourselves. It takes a lot of conditioning, it takes a lot of habit formation when we are doing this. So it takes years of effort with a child to truly bring him or her to a point where the child says that, look, my future is in my hands. And I need to work hard. I need to prioritize the right things in order to do well in life, right? So all in all, you know, this is where Teoler stands. I think as a school, we are focused on everything that is required for a child, you know. Yes, I would not shy away from the fact that we are an academic focused school which is very strong on behavior and discipline. Goes without saying. But it doesn't mean that we are not doing enough on the other fronts. I think we are doing more than enough on the other fronts.
Right.
It is just that, you know, if I'm giving myself a 9 on 10 on behavior and a 9.5 on 10 on acads, right? You know, I may give myself a 8.5 on the other two, right? But it definitely means that we are focusing on all four things, right? Yeah, I hope that kind of summarizes where Teoler stands.
It does, sir. And thank you so much. I think this is a fabulous way of letting all our parents know what exactly we're doing. While you have given us, a brief on how things are being done here, let's dig in a little bit, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So the query still remains on the activities that we do, right? And if you could throw some light on, the exact number of activities that are happening, because we feel that...
So sure, I understand. So now just let's understand what have we done, right? We have at least 2 to 3 activity Saturdays every month, which are devoted only to activities.
So no school on those days?
So there will be a school, but no academics on those days,
academics,
right? So only focused on activities.
I see.
We have an activity calendar in place, right? So we will be focusing on debates, declamations, recitation, singing, dance, show and tell, drama, right? All these competitions have already been planned. Plus, obviously, we will have our annual function, we will have our annual sports, etc. Other than this, there's a huge push on sports this year. As I just told you, we're kind of making another basketball court. We have just renovated our 2 tennis courts, right? And we have hired at least 6 new coaches this year. Our evening academy is again doing extremely well, right? So all in all, the focus on activities and sports, if a child wishes to go for it, is amazing. You have everything available. I just spoke about the activities we have conducted in the last 6 weeks, right? You're already aware of it.
Yes.
So you will see that over the next few months, maybe 7-8 months, our school teams participating in all kind of sporting activities. We already have conducted a football tournament. We have conducted a cricket tournament last year, right? This year, again, we will be participating in and conducting our own sports tournaments. Cricket, basketball, tennis, all are in pipeline, right? And hopefully the football one would be really, really big. That's the objective this year, right? Recently, our school has performed extremely well in skating competitions, right? So the focus is, I will again not mince my words. Teoler is known for its academics and value system and discipline, right? But we have started working really hard on activities. And I think even at this point in time, as I speak, we are way beyond most of the other schools in the city on the academics front, as on the activity front as well.
That's great, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So second question to dig into. Now, So we have covered the path. We are definitely strong in academics, and we are really coming up the curve when it comes to any kind of activities. Now the question is, which I would like to refer to, something that you mentioned, that we are preparing the child for the future.
Yes.
As to how the child would behave and once he or she passes out of grade 12.
Yeah.
So essentially we are that survival kit for their future.
Yeah.
So let's quickly recap on what we have done so far. We have done well with our academics.
Yes.
And we're still doing very well with our academics. We are definitely coming up the curve when it comes to our activities.
Yeah.
And we are very focused on discipline and behavior. I mean, this is something that I would like you to throw some more light on, because if you ask me personally, I believe that over the last few years, we've always been very, very diligent when it comes to managing behavior or getting the child ready in a particular class. If you could please throw some light on it.
Absolutely. Again, ma'am, as I said, both Nirja sir and I, right, we have, this is a topic which is very close to our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that education is the biggest level in the world, right? And good education, entry to good college comes with a lot of other things, right? It comes with a lot of opportunities, with a lot of, you are at par, once you are in a good college, with most of the people in the world. But it takes a lot of effort, right? It takes a lot of conditioning, it takes a lot of effort early on to prepare the child, for all these things. These days, when you see around, there's something which is called the happy child syndrome, right? Where a lot of people don't want to make their kids struggle. Right? The focus is to, that I have struggled in my life, I have worked very hard as a parent, I don't want my child to struggle as much. Now, as a teacher, I don't think if you subscribe to this point of view, it's a good point of view. Right? Because I've seen a lot of students. See, each child has his or her own life. They can't live your life.
No, they can't.
Now, if you want them to be successful at some point in time, you need to make sure that they appreciate what struggle is. They appreciate what discipline is.
Yes.
They appreciate the importance of keeping their long-term objectives ahead of their short-term objectives every single time. Right? And it is a painful task. It is not easy. It takes years of conditioning. And if we, as I said earlier, if we suddenly believe that one fine day when the child turns 18, the child will change the way he or she thinks, it doesn't happen.
No, not at all.
So we, as a school and you as a parent, will need to work very hard in making sure that our children get the right skill set, those right attitudes, which, as I said earlier, is sincerity, hard work, helpfulness, grit and determination, fire to achieve something. Your child needs to have that if the child needs to do well in the world. And last but not the least, the child should not have the sense of entitlement, right? It's okay to let your child struggle a little bit. It's okay to let your child work a little harder. Don't feel guilty about it, because you're preparing your child to do better in life. The more the child strengthens today, there'll be a future man or a woman who will do amazingly well. And the more you're protecting him or her today, the more soft approach you have. I'm not saying have a very harsh approach, but let the child flower, let the child explore the world a little bit. It's a quintessential cocoon and butterfly story.
Yes.
I'm sure all of you have heard that story. Let me just quickly.
Sure.
So, there was this child, who had a caterpillar, and he used to love that caterpillar. And one fine day the caterpillar started changing into a cocoon, right? And the child was curious. Child went to his mother and said, "Mama, look what's happening." So Mama said, "It's a natural life cycle of a butterfly. The caterpillar will convert into a cocoon, and out from the cocoon the butterfly will come out."
Yes.
After 2-3 days, the child started seeing there's a slight opening in the cocoon, and the butterfly was trying to come out of the cocoon, and child was really, really excited. But the child obviously was very closely observing the the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, and he felt a lot of pain, right? Like a lot of parents when they see the child struggling, going through the rigmarole 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, putting her head down, they feel pain.
Yes.
The child also felt the same pain because he was kind of a parent to that. And you know what he did? he brought a pair of scissors, cut open the cocoon.
Ooh.
Right? So that, he made life easy for the butterfly. He just made sure that the butterfly came out. The butterfly came out, but the wings were not strong enough. It hopped and it hopped, but it never flew. The child got really, really sad. And when the mother came and he spoke to the mother about it, you know what the mother said? The mother said, this struggle of coming out of the cocoon is nature's way of making sure that the wings are strong enough to carry the weight of the child. You did not let the butterfly go through that struggle, so the wings were always weak. We don't want our children to be hopping when they grow up. We want our children to fly. So please let them go through that struggle. Please expose them to the difficulties of life, because unless they have strong wings, they won't fly. And we want our children to fly. I think that summarizes our behavior and value system.
And that does it beautifully, sir. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
this. That was this is parents. This was a beautiful way of probably letting all of us know that our children mean a lot to us, and we foresee a future for them where we don't want them to be, one in the crowd. We want them to stand out. I think this is the best way that we can do.
Absolutely.
So, sir, thank you so much for shedding light on these particular queries that we had. It's just one thing that I'm left with.
Yeah.
If I
Sure.
Sometimes, as a parent, we want to reach out to you for queries, for questions. Unfortunately, in the last couple of months, you have not been able to give us that kind of time, probably because you've been very busy. And we understand that you are busy. But how do we reach out to you if we have to?
I'm always in the school, definitely. Right, as I said, yes, you're right. Some parents have told me that we have become busy. See, when we started, we had 100, 200 children. We had all the time in the world. Today, at THS, we have about 2,000 children, and TU, we have a few more children. So we got a little busy. But does it mean we're not working hard? Trust me, I'm working harder than what I used to work 2 years back. I'm in the school morning 8 to evening 5, every single day. So absolutely, if a parent wishes to meet us, please, send a note, diary note, and we will send you the time. We are always available. Or even if you want to come without an appointment, it's absolutely fine. The only request is, you may have to wait a little bit, but I will, or Nirja sir will definitely meet you. Right? We also, if you want to write to us, you can write to us at amit.kapoor@teoler.com, nirja.goel@teoler.com. Please reach out to us. Parents have that faith. Nirja sir and I, we haven't changed. We are still the same. Children are still our first priority. Teoler will always be our first priority. Right? We have gotten a little busy, but we are not slackers. We are not working. We are working every single day to make sure that our children do well. We are always available. Please reach out Monday to Saturday, morning 8 to evening 5. As I said, drop a diary note. It'll be convenient. You don't want to drop a diary note, you want to just come in, please come in. May have to wait a little bit, but we'll always be there.
Thank you so much.
Hope that helps.
Yes, it does. Definitely. Thank you so much, sir.
And thank you for all the trust, faith you have shown in us. I'm deeply obligated by all the trust and faith you guys have shown in us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today. And this really helps. And I hope we'll be catching up often for more.
We will. I think, we should make this more of a habit and kind of come out with more interactive videos so that, the parents are aware of what we are trying to do.
And I think that'll be a fabulous idea. So, thank you so much, parents. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And we hope to catch up again very soon and with more answers for you. Thank you so much.